南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。The Dhamma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, to study, and to practice. May we fully understand and realize the Tathagata's true teachings. So, how is everybody? Very well. Very good. It's pretty warm, eh? And very dry. Definitely very dry. We are not bad here on the East Coast. It's worse in the East Coast. West Coast. We are on the West Coast. East Coast is really bad. 107 Fahrenheit. Can you imagine? And it's going up to 120. They had that kind of they have that kind of called what's called heat bomb, something heat bomb syndrome. It's like the heat start to build, the heat from the sun comes down, right? But because the houses are so crowded, especially in city centers, downtown area, like we have high rises and all that. So when the heat come down, the heat stays. But because of all these obstacles, the high rises, all the obstacles, the heat cannot escape. So it keep pressing down. The heat comes from above, keep accumulating, but no way to go. So it creates a heat bomb, like a heat bomb. Right. So we are lucky to be living in the country, in a city like this, so spacious, especially Poland. I mean, it's so spacious here. So even with that heat, when the sun goes down, it cools off right away. So you can imagine that kind of heat wave can really kill people. Yeah, because our body just cannot take it, especially young ones or the old ones. So make sure you hydrate yourself. Drink a lot of water. Huh? Okay, so ready to start. We are. hmm, Okay, we are on this. Sorry. Just look at the one, all right? Just look at the right one. It is difficult to face humiliation without anger. We are still on chapter 12 of the 42 chapters, the Sutra of 42 chapters, and it's talking about 20 difficulties that we face. And we have learned the last 7, now we are on the 8th. It is difficult to face humiliation without anger, it says. Um, you agree? Oh, yeah. We have to see it actually, how can we actually subdue ourselves if we are being humiliated by others and not reacting with anger? How do you think? What's the best way to actually subdue that anger? To actually, calm the anger in a situation where we got humiliated by people. Yeah. 3 deep breaths. Okay. You guys are really good. Okay. So that's the technique. That's the technique that you are aware. But you cannot walk down the road like like all that, like, right? But how can you understand and how can you really come out of it um, in a sense of knowledge?
You were talking last week about the prisoner, and he said, he just says to himself, it's none of his business.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's that person's issue.
Yeah, that's the miseries of that person, right? And why you carry the miseries onto yourself. So why would the miseries be his possession? It's not my possession. Why?
Because you didn't receive it with anger.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. But why would he have such miseries?
Well, just his actions belong to him.
Yeah, his actions belong to him. So that means give me the correct words, please. What causes miseries? Good karma. Yeah, yeah. The cause and effect, right? Yes. Slowly you get there. You're very good. You start from the practice, and I want to take you back to the theory. And when I talk, and I sit there and talk, don't think about the theory, talk about the practice. See for what you're going to try to trick us, right? So you know the whole thing of why people humiliate you is also why
Karma.
karma. So there must be an effect, cause and effect there, why people humiliate you, right? Why people intimidate you, right? So there must be a cause and effect there. So if you are just constantly reacting or just taking 3 deep breaths and not really understanding the truth, the true picture of why would he humiliate me? Of course, at the end, the humiliation is humiliation. He humiliated me, but why would he humiliate me? Because I have planted such seed in the past. I may have humiliated him in the past. Not necessarily this lifetime. Okay, if you believe in past life, you got to believe in past life by and I mean, if you believe in cause and effect, you got to believe in past life and next life. That's a fact. You cannot say that, oh, I believe in cause and effect. But I don't believe in past life and next life. Because past, present, future, and this is a cause, and this is an effect, and this is a cause, and this is an effect, right? And you are you still with me? Yeah, put up your right hand, please, if you are still with me, and you're still clear, clear-headed. All right, all right, good. Did you? Okay. Yeah. So you know that there must be a cause and effect there. Otherwise, the other person will not humiliate you. And if you understand that, then you won't take on that situation too badly, right? Too personally. Did you remember the famous big monk Ajahn Brahm said, when somebody called you a pig, what did he say?
Look for your tail.
Look for a tail. Yeah, do I have a tail? Oh, I don't. I'm not a pig, right? So the pig thing stays back with that person. But why would he call you a pig? You must have called him names before. Yeah? So this is a boomerang. What goes out will come round. Even though it's very difficult, really, for us to see these backstage causes, but we need to understand from that point of view. Otherwise, yeah, we walk away with 3 deep breaths, but there may be a grudge. We may hold a grudge there. And that grudge may be like being pushed down, push, push, push. And next time you see that person, you remember right away that he called you a pig. Yeah?
I'm thinking about, you don't want to, show aversion towards
No,
somebody or something that
of
might
course.
happen,
Of course.
but you don't want to put yourself in harm's way either. So where's that path?
The path is just take 3 deep breaths and walk away, and then try to sit down and convince yourself this is a cause and effect thing.
But if you could see a situation might arise, then you don't
Then
go
you,
there.
oh no, yeah, you avoid it, right? Remember, I think I told you before. My sifu taught me there are 3 ways to actually deal with the situation. The really unwise and non-beneficial way is we call it the really low rating. Okay, that is you don't bring benefit. That the situation is how you deal with it. Is that you don't bring benefits to yourself, and you're not benefiting others. Okay. Okay. And then the medium like rating is you benefit others, but you don't benefit yourself. And the one with the highest rating is the most wholesome, is the most wonderful, is it's a win-win situation. Yeah? Win-win. So you benefit others, you benefit yourself. So if you see things that is actually arising and you think, oh, this is going to be causing a lot of negativity, then don't go there, right? It's a bomb there and you walk into the bomb. No, be wise. Come on, walk away from the bomb, right? As I always said to the guys in the prison, I said, the three deep breaths actually allow you to walk away trouble, man. I always said to them, walk away from trouble, son. And they then they remember, So, so, but if you really already in that situation and things just happen like that without it caught you off guard, then you either maintain silence, quiet, and just remember I told you it's difficult. Remember I told you the other time, 6 weeks ago, I said I told somebody the truth that I thought it was the truth for his own benefit, but it actually upset him so much. So that was my fault. That was my fault. I yeah I should be much clever, much wiser how to deal with that situation. As I said to my students in China, one of my students in China said, "Oh, Sifu, you are so straight and so I don't know, 我點講呢？so so difficult to deal with. That's why she just, another student doesn't want to come close to you." I said, wow, really? Really? I'm so bad? I'm really that bad? I mean, so difficult to say, and not loving kind enough. Okay, not compassionate enough, and so straight, and so straight, whatever you want to, so square, not flexible and all that. That's why the student didn't want to, didn't want to stay close to me, and she left for another group. And her friend asked, "Hey, Sifu is here," and she said, "I'm so afraid to see Sifu because Sifu is so strict." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Wow." Then I have to really reflect on myself because I created such situation that actually push people away from Dhamma. She hasn't left Dhamma, but she has left this group to go to another group. And I said, wow. Of course, this is karma also, right? But then that actually give me something to ponder on is, am I really so strict that I push students away, or they just don't want anything to be strict?
Or they're shopping around to hear what they want to hear.
Could be, but yeah.
Sometimes the mind can make a student think that you want them to go away, though.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
I think it goes.
It goes both ways, yeah. And also, um, people really don't like to hear the truth about themselves, not about others. They like to hear anything about others, but not about themselves. When they hear things about themselves, they get angry at the person who actually tells them the truth. So don't ever poke people's truth, poke open the truth, okay? Because it's not nice. It's I mean, I feel myself, I'm a teacher and I have the responsibility, but people just don't like it. So what can I do? Hey, what can I do? Yes.
Didn't the Buddha say though that when someone points out one of your flaws, that you should see it as them pointing out a pot of gold.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But when
Hey,
the
there's gold over there.
yeah, but the person is so ignorant that they think that it's a pot of poop, poop, poop or poo. You know, they think it's a pot of poop, so they don't think it's a pot of gold. Of course, I'm not a Buddha, right? And I always, yeah, sorry.
My father taught me, and I sometimes use it, sometimes don't, depends on the situation. But if somebody asks you for the truth or your true opinion, then that is what you should offer. Otherwise,
Quiet, silent. Really? Wow, that's so difficult.
it is. That's why I said sometimes I remember, and sometimes I'll just
But it depends, though. Well, it depends, though. I mean, if something that's technical, like your technique, a meditation technique or whatever, then if I don't point it out, then they go wrong, right? So you guys better tell me whether you want me to poke you. Poke, poke.
Raise the hands for the gays.
Yay!
It's safe here to poke. Yeah. You- Not each other.
Not each other.
It'll
Oh,
be a waiver form.
a wafer form. Yeah. So yeah.
There is an issue between somebody telling you the truth about yourself and somebody being vindictive. Yeah.
Of course. I mean,
Recognizing the difference between the two.
but you see, when the person is telling you something about the truth, and if you don't like it, you'll become negative. Oh yeah.
You become negative,
Oh yeah.
more so than if somebody is saying something to you where it is just being nasty and accusatory rather than being
You see,
objective.
when the person, well, I find a lot of times when I tell my students, hey, you know what, this is what it is. This is so and so. This is such and such, and they'll just look at me. I really don't quite trust you. I'm. You're just too straight. I. Huh? Doesn't matter with me.
You offered them your pearls,
I do.
so
I do. Yeah, but. I hope there is a more middle path. So okay. Also, whoever put up their hand, yeah, I will poke you. I remember who put up hands and who don't. Okay. So I actually, to face humiliation without anger has to be done with a lot of mindfulness. The mindfulness has to be there really, in order not to react with anger, right? So it's so that's why you're practicing a wonderful, really wonderful gem, and it's a wonderful jewel that you all have in, to practice mindfulness. Um, and why are we so angry? Because the ego is so big, right? The ego is so big, so you think that people are humiliating you, and if our ego is not there, and what there for them to humiliate with, right? Nothing. So okay. Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. You're good. Thank you. I won't poke too badly. Thank you for being so upfront. No, I don't poke. I just tell the truth. You could behave this way, and I think it's more conducive and it's better, and everything. It's I when I tell people things about my view, it's never out of negativity. It's never out of negativity. It's always out of a good heart that I want them to actually practice correctly and use the time correctly, and also use this human life correctly, and also use this relationship to its fullest, right? So it's never out of a bad intention. But anyway, okay. So, next one, number 9, difficulty. It is difficult to have power and not abuse it. Oh, I love this. I look at the election down south. I've oh what? Oh really? You need to check that also. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So that you have to edit it, right? It's okay. I get no. It's no problem. You can see actually a lot of people are using the authority, are using the power so abusively, and it's actually very very difficult, I think, for one person, for one, to maintain a mind, a clear mind, a very focused mind that I won't abuse my power. It's actually very very difficult for one to be able to do that. Power can cover many aspects. Power in the monastery, right? I have the power because I am the head nun, super nun. I have the power. I say and you do, right? And not necessarily. Yeah, it's true. Thank you, Lynn. And also the power at home. Oh, you are the queen, right? You are the queen or you are the king, right? Power at home. Power in the society, right? And power in the country and power in any society, like in the prisons there are a lot of guards who think that they have a lot of power. So sometimes the behavior could, or the behavior, if whether it's physical or verbal, could be abusive, right? And even when you drive on the road, the big trucks have the power, I tell you. Yeah, they do have the power. They come and then you just have to let go. Just stop, go, be off, go, 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 go. You better go, right? Yeah, so the power, it could be in many, many aspects, right? Superpower countries, superpower people, superpower. Everything is superpower. Superpower nuclear weapon, superpower. Everything is superpower. When we have that kind of power, how can we maintain a state of mind that we don't actually become abusive using it abusively? It's actually come back to the same thing. Has to be very mindful, has to be very compassionate, right? And because when one is in power, it is actually uh, very difficult not to abuse. Even at school, even at school. I remember we went to a school for a lunch break meditation, and I talked about bullying, and I said, why do you think people bully? And one kid said, I think he's only like about 10. He said, then it shows that I have power. Remember? You see, little kid like that think I have power, so that I bully. That's why I bully people. And if I can bully, that means I have power. Wow, that was scary. That was scary. Wow. But he doesn't look too bad. He doesn't look too angry, but that's what he said. So in his mind, there must be something, very, very, very strong in this mind is I need to get that power. So that needs to be really looked after. And actually, all these this power thing, when people use it in an abusive way, actually there is a lot of craving. You agree? Craving. Otherwise, huh? Must be craving. Otherwise, they wouldn't do that. To be more powerful, to be more powerful. If they are not mindful, then it's just escalate. So if people have the power and they don't abuse it, you can see it. They are very actually humble people. Can we have some example in this world from this world? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gandhi. Yeah. Gandhi is Gandhi was one of it. Yeah. And what who else? Dalai Lama. Okay. Mandela. Yeah. What about Martin Luther King? Yeah. Martin Luther King. He fights for the weak, right? Sister Teresa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Guan Yin Pusat. And Guan Yin Pusat, right? Guan Yin Pusat is 进去可以搞进去. Guan Yin Pusat has 1,000 hands, thousand ways to actually heal people, to help people, but she did not abuse his power or her power. And also, and when somebody is in the place of power, if they don't abuse it, you can see it. They actually treat people very fairly. I have a friend in China, and I think he's a very very well off businessman. I don't know how wealthy he is, but he is very humble. He has big factories where I think he probably have 3,000 workers in one factory. 3,000 in one factory. I don't know how many factories does he have. He's vegetarian, and when he began his business many years ago, he he ordered food. Half of the food would be vegetarian, half of the food would be with meat. Down the road, down the road, gradually cut down of the meat part, and now it's full vegetarian. And you know what? Every day he queue up. He queue up at the cafeteria for his food. Take the tray, queue up together with his workers. Whether those people in front of him are cleaning ladies or managers, doesn't matter. He will queue up. And even people try to, let him go. He said, no, 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 I queue up with you guys. And he sit with everybody. He eats the same food. He drinks the same water. He sleep in the same quarter. And he works the same hours. Sometimes even more hours. And he would ask his workers, you go home. You have a family. I don't have a family. I can stay. You go home. If one has a power and if one is abusing, he said, you work late. I'm going home. Right? A lot of times we see that in our society. We see that in our everywhere. Right? So see if we can try to be more humble and not to abuse our power. And even though when people call you a queen at home, they will call you, oh, you must be a very loving queen at home. Not a powerful queen at home. All right. So this is the ninth difficulty that we may actually encounter, or is easily happening. Okay. And the 10th difficulty is difficult to face situations with a detached mind. Isn't it true? It's very true, because it's very difficult to keep our eyes shut, keep our ears closed, and most of all, keep our mouth silent. And when we start with a detached mind, that means it's none of my business, but yet it is my business. But you don't actually um, comment or argue or confuse the situations. You just want to get things done. And a lot of times when 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 situations arise, we all have our point of view. And that's why in the English saying is that too many chefs spoil the soup, isn't it? Right? So, because why? When a situation arises, we all have our ideas. And we all think that my idea is the most correct. And you got to listen to me. Your idea is not as bright as mine. And you got to listen. Because why? We are so attached to our own views. And we don't see others' view. And also, we don't see where we stand. Is this your business? Is this your duty, or is this your responsibility? Or is it a place for you to say? So that's why I think one is being trained up in etiquette, especially as a monastic etiquette. One will be easier to actually detach oneself, because you see, remember I told you one story when I first renounced. I used to serve dinner. I used to serve breakfast and lunch for the whole monastic, like 120 monastics, sitting for lunch, and me and few other sifus, young, we were young at that time, okay, young nuns who served. And because we are servers, so we get the food the last. So everybody got to pick the food, and especially fruits. And it was like a summer retreat, like the 15th of April until the 15th of July in the Chinese calendar. So a lot of people bring offerings, good offerings, like good fruits, like big mangoes and papayas and all that, right? So we all eat lunch or eat breakfast in silence. So after we've served all the hot food, then we go around with baskets of fruits, from the most senior monk to the most senior nun, and then all the way to the most junior one, right? Even the most junior one get to pick before us, because we are servers, right? So you go around, you go around, you go around. And you don't talk, I want this and I don't want that. No, you don't talk. You just pick. And a lot of times we were taught, you don't actually look at what in the basket, you just pick. Because once you start look at the basket, then you will what? Oh, yeah, I want a mango. I don't want a papaya, right? So one day there was so many mangoes. Big, we call elephant mangoes. Elephant elephant tusk. You know, in Southeast Asia, you have the elephant tusk mango. It's big like this, and it's like a tusk of an elephant, like this, green, but it's so tasty. Oh gosh, it's so good. That day they had about 10 or 12. And I kept looking. And they pick and pick. And of course, I mean, that 120 people, only 12, right? Of course, people would have picked. So when they all left, and then there was a very senior nun who ate very last, and she finished the lunch. And I went to say to her, I said, "Oh, you're so lucky. You've got such a nice mango." And you know what she said? Well, next life, you better renounce earlier so that you get a chance to pick your mango. And I look at the mango, my saliva all came out. It was so difficult to face situations with a detached mind. Even just a mango, I mean, this 24 years ago. But it still makes such a wonderful story. And you know what? Why I say this is so nice with the etiquette? Because when you are in the dining room, you don't get to talk and you don't get to pick whatever you want. And sometimes if there are, like, for example, if we have like, sometimes we just distribute on the table. And the best, of course, we pick out the best and distribute according to seniority, right? So so that's the best. You get whatever your seniority is, and you don't have to complain. So that's the thing. And so, and also in the monastery, Sifu always taught us, you listen and you do what you are told. But a lot of times we don't do what we are told. We have our own ideas. We all have our own ideas. So I remember when I first learned how to serve, it's very heavy pails, like this size of pails. stainless steel all filled to the rim with food and hot, right? And we learn a special way to hold it. And at the end of the lunch, you go back to see, and you have a burn mark on your thigh because it was so hot. But you get used to it. Oh yeah, you do get used to it, and you become strong. I could hold bowls, straight arm 25 bowls like this. Oh yeah, heavy bowls, straight, and just hold it there, and just very mindfully put it there so that I don't break them all. So it's nice. Sifu said, you are told what to do, and you just abide by what you're told. And this is the etiquette in a monastery. He said, whether you are chanting, whether you are eating, whether you're serving, or whether you're meditating, or whether you're walking, you abide by what you are told. But it's so difficult. When I first started working in the dining room, I said to my senior nuns, I said, no, why do we have to do like this? You know, there's a better way, right? And they all look at me. So of course they won't say anything about me. But at the back, I know that they know this person is hopeless. She's so ego. She has so much ego in her. Everything she said seems to be right. She doesn't listen. You know, at that time, I was like that. I was really like that. And then, of course, my sifu was very compassionate. He, at times, at the right time, he will give the right teachings and woke me up. And so I always remember, you know, little things that he taught in teachings is just listen and just do it without arguing, without, you know, one time I asked him something, and he told me this. And I said, I don't understand. He said, you don't need to understand, you just do it. And I looked at him, because I'm a scientific person. I study science. I cannot just listen and do it. He said, you just do it. Oh yeah. And that time I said, I think I told you before. One day we were on the ferry, and his favorite thing was coffee and like tea, you know, the pocky sticks, right? The biscuits. Poca. Okay. And he said, I need some biscuits. So I said, okay. He said, I have a, no, what did he say? I have a stomach ache. I said, no, I said, Sifu, you don't have a stomach ache. Stomach is here. This is the heart. You know what he said? Your heart is here. No, he said, no, I have a heart pain here. He said, I have a heart pain. I said, no, this is the stomach. This is not a heart. This is not a heart. This is your stomach. He said, no, this is my heart. But this is your stomach. And I looked at him. Come on, what kind of teaching is that? This is my heart, and that is your stomach. I never understood. I never understood. I said, my sifu sometimes is really ignorant. So messed up. How come this is the heart? This is actually the stomach. How can it be the heart? Until I really meditate, and I know this is where my heart is. My heart is right here. And at that time, I just didn't understand. I did not understand a thing, and I argue with him. Oh, and also, you like to listen to these stories, eh? He was very ill, so people kept bringing him milk. I said, Sifu, milk is bad for your health. Milk is really bad for your health. We should not drink milk. And he said to me, you should not drink milk, but I can drink milk. Oh, boom, again. And you know, constantly. One day I said, he loved dumplings. So people cook dumplings and put a lot of parsleys, you know, cilantros into it. He loves that. And I never eat cilantros because I study parasitology, And I know in cilantros, there are a lot of parasites that are not visible to the eyes and cannot be cooked dead. I said to him that day, I said, Sifu, don't eat cilantros. There are a lot of bugs in it. You know what he said to me? You put the bugs in. Where are the bugs? You put them in. He actually is trying to rub off my ego, trying to rub off my views. I abide to those views. So I attach to those views so adamantly. And now I eat cilantro, and one of my favorite vegetable when I eat dumplings. So he just keep bashing me, just to wake me up, just to allow me to detach myself from my own views. So we are actually lucky. We are fortunate if somebody actually tell you that, maybe you could do it this way. Maybe you shouldn't do it this way. You are actually fortunate because people are burning their energy to advise you from attaching to your own view. But it's really not easy to really understand that. I have spent a lot of time really to come to really understanding what my Sifu has told me. And now I can laugh about it. But at that time, there were so many question marks in my head. Oh, well, I cannot argue with him. So what can I do? I just shut up, not say anything. But in my heart, I go, I but I remember when we first started to run meditation courses here, I was so strict. Because those old students would know the meditation hall is just next to the dining room, right? So they all have to tiptoe to serve a breakfast and lunch. And I go to extreme. I buy all those mats so that when they put the pen down, they won't make a noise. But come on, when we work, we tend to make noise, but we will make noise. But I just went to the extreme. No noise, nothing, quiet. So sometimes when they fall, when the tongue fell on the ground, they in the kitchen, it's oh, Sister says you will come and say, how many times you have dropped the tongue or dropped the what do you call that? What do you call that when you fry the noodles with? What do you call the Chinese spatula? Yeah. Yeah, you call it a spatula. I always think that a spatula is plastic, but our spatula not necessary. It could be metal. Okay, the big Chinese spatula. How many times they have dropped the spatula, and how many times are coming? How many times you have dropped the spatula? It's very noisy today. Yeah. But you see, I trained them being very mindful. They are very mindful. So now when they open, when they open and close cupboards, they are actually very mindful. Not just let the cupboards door slam, blang 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 blang. No, they're very mindful. And one very very important thing is the shoes. A lot of times, out of convenience, when we come in, when we go out, we just leave the shoes wherever we want and let them fly one here and one there, right? There was one Sifu, oh gosh, I insisted that she put her shoes up on the rack, but she always forgot. It's one here and one there. And I said, next time, if you don't put your shoes right there, I'm going to put your shoes right in front of the altar. Just right in front of the altar. See how many times it takes you to correct. Next time she forgot. So I put her shoes there, right in front of the altar, right there. And she went out, try to find her shoes. Where are my shoes? I just looked at her and I smiled and I walk away. And she looked at my smile, very cunning smile. And she looked at my smile and she remembered what I said. And she went into the hall and found her shoes over there. It took her quite a few times to actually train that one. Now she's gone. She went back to the old style shoes here and there. So that's why I said, learning the etiquette is actually very, very good because it helps you to really remain mindful when you are facing with situations. You know where you stand and whether it's your turn to say or not to say, to do or not to do. Right? A lot of times we actually mix up our role, and that's why it causes a lot of ill will, animosity, and also whenever we actually react to difficult situations or to situations with our ego, actually we strengthen the ego once more, right? So we actually strengthen the ego. That's why it's actually, if you should be very grateful if somebody come to tell you, no, you should not do this. You should be very grateful because people are really burning energy to help you. And if nobody wants to advise you, oh, that person is a very, very sad person because nobody want to advise you, right? And that mind is actually very egoistic. That's why people are scared to come and tell you, you should not be like this, and you should think about this, you know. So it's difficult to face situation with a detached mind. And of course, situations could be anything, right? Any situations, maybe separation from our loved ones, or separation from the things that we like, or human relationship, or whatever, any situations. So that's why we have to learn how we could detach it. We have to learn why it happens like this. One thing is the understanding of this situation. uh, the understanding of this situation, is all of out of a conditions, right? Things arise out of conditions, and we know this is the condition that actually make this thing arise, and we will wait for other conditions to make to for me to actually speak about this. Don't speak anything out when situation is heated. It's not. It's you throwing log into the fire. Okay. All right. The 11th. It is difficult to master vast areas of knowledge. That means to master. That means we are good at it. Vast areas of knowledge. That means we are very knowledgeable. So, do you think a person with a PhD degree would be like this, like vast knowledge, and is a PhD person necessarily be able to master vast areas of knowledge? No, why?
There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, of course, but it says knowledge here. Yeah, Maria.
Usually if you're going for a PhD, it's in a limited area, like it's on
Yeah,
one subject, which
yeah,
means that you may master that one subject, but that's not a vast area.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
much more.
yeah. So you may be able to master over a special object. You become a specialist, like a doctor, right? Right? Ear specialist, eye specialist, even eye with like so many specialists in eye specialty. So when you are specialized, no, you're not necessarily can master over the vast knowledges, right? So like a general physician, it's general physician. Yeah, he knows a lot of things, general knowledge in general medicine, but he's not specialized. So he cannot master the specialty, but he has vast knowledges. But here is actually master vast areas of knowledges. So who do you think would be the first person who can actually master? Who is the person who can master the vast knowledges? Oh, the Buddha. So obvious, isn't it? Yeah. It is difficult. Why? Why? It is like a blind people feeling the elephant. Remember this very famous story, right? The five blind people touching the elephant. Some holding the tail, some holding the what you call it, a trout? Huh? Trunk. Oh, some holding the trunk, and some feeling the ears, some feeling the tummy, and they all feel that what they feel is the elephant. But is it the elephant? No, it's not the elephant, right? So thinking that particular part of the elephant is the elephant is actually they have this overview. They have this narrow view that they have this thinking that they have this overview of an elephant already, right? So this really actually is specialty, but specialty in that, oh, this is just, if you tell them this is the tummy or trunk of the elephant, they wouldn't believe you because they're blind, they cannot see. So it's why it is difficult to master vast areas of knowledge, because a lot of times we are blind. We are blind when we don't see. And when we are able to see the whole elephant, then we know, oh, this is called an elephant. And it's general knowledge that this is all called an elephant. But we wouldn't know how the trunk is like. What the trunk feel like? What about the hair on the trunk? Is there hair on the trunk? Is the trunk like tough or soft? I've never touched an elephant. Anybody who has touched an elephant? Oh, nobody. Oh, you have? Is the trunk tough or soft? Oh, you did not. Okay, you did not touch the trunk. Ah, okay. I've touched a camel, but not touched an elephant. So we know this is so that's if we are blind, we can only see partial. We can only feel the partial part of the elephant. We are not mastering the vast knowledges. Okay, so those who are actually can master the knowledges, they will be able to see the differences in the differences among similarities. For example, for example, we went to Saskatchewan, and after we did a little shopping at Costco, and when I came out, I saw a big thing in my bag. It was an insect. I thought it was a cricket, and we at last decided that it wasn't a cricket because it was too beautiful to be a cricket, and it's got transparent wings, yellow. It's got a long body and a long tail. And cricket doesn't have a long tail, right? I'll show you the picture next time. So we don't know. So, but if there is an insect person there, they will know. They will look at all the crickets, and they know, oh, this is called water cricket. This is called a bamboo cricket, or this is called whatsoever cricket. So they will, among the similar things, they will pick out the differences. Yeah, and also in different things, they will find a commonality. And this is called mastering the vast knowledges. So what do you think in the Buddha? The Buddha was the one of this person. He was the wisest, the most wise. Okay. And he's what do you think the commonality that he showed us? Suffering, good. Impermanence, good. Okay. Huh? The mind, all right.
Conditional existence.
Conditional existence. Very good. Very good. Because of conditional existence, that's why we are all human beings. But yet, we are different because of conditional existing, right? There is a commonality in the different human nations. You see? So just this knowledge is already so vast. And if we could actually apply this knowledge, it could be applicable to everything. Animate, inanimate, human, non-human, visible, invisible, big or small, far or near, right? It's all governed by this dependent origination, by this cause and effect. Isn't he great? So it's difficult to master. That's why we need to practice, right? So we are very, very lucky to have these teachings. And so far, I think only the Buddhist teaching is the most vast. And it can, yeah?
Is knowledge not infinite?
Is knowledge not what?
Infinite?
Infinite? Knowledge is infinite. Knowledge is not infinite. Wisdom is infinite. Knowledge can be limited because human mind is limited. Human mind is finite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the human mind cannot master the vast
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah. That's why one has to become a Buddha. That's why we are striving to become a Buddha. Right? So human mind is finite. So even I think knowledge is finite because knowledge is to be learned by human mind. If human mind is finite, then knowledge is finite. Yeah?
Like you were talking about.
But the wisdom is different. Wisdom is not knowledge. Knowledge is things that you actually study and learn. But wisdom cannot be learned. Wisdom is to be cultivated. We all have wisdom. We all have this wisdom in us, but it's just masked by our craving, by our ignorance, by all the dust we so call the dust. I think there should be master vast areas of it really talking about knowledge. It's really talking about knowledge here. But knowledge can be turned into wisdom.
There's another word in our vocabulary called realization.
Realization is wisdom, isn't it?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
More related to wisdom.
Yeah, more related to wisdom. Yeah. But yeah,
Because you have knowledge does not mean you necessarily have wisdom.
oh yes, 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 yeah. Actually, the people who have knowledge sometimes are actually more ignorant, more stubborn than a person without knowledge.
Because they're more right.
Yeah, they think that they are more right. Yeah,
The book learners go more by hearing.
yeah. And remember the monk who actually who ate fruits and who I talk about, who sat on the cliff and fell last week. He did not read a word. He was illiterate. But if you go to him and you ask him a question and you read him the sutta, you read him the paragraph, read him the chapter, he will explain to you everything inside out. That's wisdom. But he doesn't have the knowledge of that sutta, of that teaching. But when he hears it through his ears, then he understands and he can share. I have seen a few people like that, but they're all gone now. Okay, we talk about this next time. So you know that there is a big auspicious blessings chanting ceremony coming up this weekend, and then on Sunday you see the tent is up we will have this Yogacara offering, the Yanko here. And August 7th is still the Katinas, the offering to the monastics. It's an annual thing. So, and also mooncake, if you want to place an order, uh, put, just scribble on a piece of paper in there. You have anything to announce? You want you want to say something about the apples? Okay. Uh, we have a lot of apples this year. If anybody could offer their help to make applesauce for us, we can actually sell those applesauce to raise some money for redevelopment. So if anybody would like to offer, just please tell Eva or tell Tan Sifu that they will, can offer to make applesauce. And we will provide all the bottles, all the jars and the lids. If you have time, 1 day, 2 days, doesn't matter. Okay. Anything else that you want to announce? Yeah.
There might be something about the comments.
Comments.
Oh, thank you. Maria was noticing that, the Facebook comments to support the guys in Saskatoon and in Prince Albert.
Oh.
So there's a lot of comments from Hong Kong, and so we're hoping to get some more local comments.
Oh. If you guys have local, no. If you guys have Facebook account, go up on the Polam Facebook, because we are compiling. Um, uh, we are going to compile all your comments and send it to those guys in Saskatchewan in the prison to encourage them to continue to meditate. So there are a lot of there are a lot of comments from Hong Kong. We need to translate them. Yeah.
I thought it was 4 mooncakes.
No, 8. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, yeah.
And in an email, you said to send an email to Susanna. So should we do that?
Yes, yes. You can send to Susanna. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Oh, next week. Next week there is still meditation. Paul will be here for meditation, but there will be no Dhamma sharing, right? Or you want to continue the Dhamma sharing?
It depends what everybody wants.
Okay.
All of you will be.
Yeah, we are all gone to Van Dusen in the evening. So you guys want to watch the video, or you want just to come and meditate and then go home earlier? Yeah, meditate and go home. Meditate, have a cup of tea, and go home. Okay, all right. We bring our attention back to the body. We understand this nature of existence of our own body, of our own minds, constantly changing, flux of changes. At this time, we allow a good thought to arise on our mind for all the benefits that I gather from hearing the words of the Buddha, understanding his teachings. May I share all these benefits with all beings, human, non-human, visible, invisible, big or small, far or near. May they be free of enmity. May they be free of miseries. May they start to live in a world with brightness, warmth, and experience love and peace and be happy. May more and more people will encounter the words of the Buddha to study, to practice, and to help themselves out of miseries, untie all the entanglements, and be happy and be peaceful. Good. Have a good week. See you on Sunday if you're coming on Sunday.